Hello everybody, how you doing? It's Cap Corgi here. I wanted to talk about Arc Raiders. Now we have Eurogamer absolutely unfairly lying and attacking Arc Raiders. So let's just read what they said for Arc Raiders and we'll talk about it as well. So if you guys do enjoy this type of content, give this video a like, give it a sub, share it with your friends, because I cover it how it is, and that includes calling out the dog shit games journalists, so-called, that try to act like there's some kind of, judgment giver in the video games industry that anyone actually listens to. They're not, and they're dying as a result. For Arc Raiders to ride the wave of human sociability all the way to the bank while also being so contemptuous of the thing that makes us social animals in its own workflow demonstrates a lack of artistic integrity that I find impossible to ignore. Our review, and then it has 2 stars out of 5. 2 stars out of 5. It's an absolute abject shit show. So let's go in, let's talk about it. Let's read some of the description of what they say and talk about the real issue here. Because the real issue is multifold, and I definitely want to talk about why this has been such an entirely insane situation. Remember, guys, this is the same Eurogamer, let me see if I can pull it up, that gave Dragon Age the Veilguard a 5 out of 5. A perfect score. Dragon Age the Veilguard, Eurogamer. Let's just see. Yeah, there it is. Not interested in AI mode. There it is. 5 out of 5. The best BioWare game that I ever played. The exact same Eurogamer that wants to talk to you and give you, like, by the way, incorrect information in their Arc Raiders review, is doing this, has done the same thing, is the same one that tried to suck the dick of BioWare and Dragon Age the Veilguard. I'm so shocked that these fucking biased individuals that don't know a thing about actual video games or anything that actual video gamers care about is so biased and so incorrect. But let's talk about the specifics. Rich PvE combat and an unusually friendly community make Arc Raiders a more approachable extraction shooter than most, but Embark Studios continued the use of AI voice generation, and that's a black mark against its reputation. So that's basically the entire gist. You can read through the entire thing. I will link, of course, the entire article for you guys to read in the description below. But it kind of goes on. He talks about, like, the encounters of Arc Raiders. He talks about, comparisons to other extraction games, DayZ, and so on and so forth. And also about, structurally what it is, solos versus trios, the maps, and the items you can use, the crafting, and so on and so forth. Everything seems pretty okay. He's not glowing in the recommendations of it, but he is, like, at least, fairly talking about the normal aspects of the game, until you go all the way down when he starts to talk about AI. And the problem is that he's not really talking about it well. He's not talking about it with an actual, set of facts here. He does say, while I'm deeply skeptical of the use of AI in game development, it's important to emphasize the nuances at play here. However, the nuances in play he doesn't actually give to the score. So he says, for starters, these two techniques are not the same, while Embark has further argued, less convincingly, that TTS is different from generative AI tools like ChatGPT. Machine learning is not a new technology in video games, experimented by developers since the black and white days. Animations of arcs, how they adapt is creature AI. Creature AI is something that every video game uses. If you don't have creature AI, you will have literally stick figures just standing still, or, nothing moving in a video game ever. Every fucking video game uses AI for, controller of NPCs. First of all, this beyond that is the AI, the Embark, the generated AI voice lines. But here is the problem. Here is the problem. Why is this game using AI? It is extremely, extremely simple. It is used for a couple of things. It is used to use some of the random characters like pings on the map. You know, look this way. There's a box up here. Blah 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 blah. And like, you know, all of those things, and as well as when you turn on the filter in the option screen to give your character a voice filter. So when you're using VoIP, you don't have to use your actual real voice. That uses AI. And that is a form of, you know, generative AI, but it's like a filter. And here is the problem. How did they develop this feature? They developed this feature, and I by the way, guys, I'm not a fan of AI. Generally, I'm not a fan of generative AI, language learning models, ChatGPT. I don't use any of that shit. I think literally 99.99% of it is dog shit. We're burning through our planet's resources to generate like stupid videos for fucking Google Sora. No, sorry, it's not Google Sora. I don't even know which one is which. There's like 5 fucking AIs now that are major ones. So yeah, there's Sora, which is another video one. There is ChatGPT, of course. There's Grok, and several others. And they're all, you know, burning through massive resources to create absolute dog shit AI videos that no one wants to watch. They're not very good. They never have that human touch, and they're putting, you know, they're trying to put creators out of business of all kinds, whether they're, you know, coders or creators or this or that. And that hate, I understand, but you have to remember the actual facts. This is not a company like EA who will fire voice actors and replace their entire staff of voice actors, coders, and everything in between with actual just AI and, like, you know, a manager overseeing it all, and they'll make a shitty product and we won't buy it. This is not that kind of situation. What Embark did here is completely different. And you will not find this in the Eurogamer article, because Eurogamer is a biased piece of shit that doesn't actually do any of its own actual fucking research. Me, a person on fucking YouTube who plays video games, I'm a lifelong gamer, I've been playing since the NES days and MS-DOS days, even earlier than that. Just me being a gamer, not creating content even full-time. I'm very small. I average a few thousand views on every video that I make. You know, I'm very proud of it. Very happy with it. Steady, very slow, very steady growth. Doing my best to create it in this crazy world. But my shit is real. And my shit is well-researched. Way well-researched, well more researched than fucking Eurogamer, where this is their fucking job. This is why I'm pissed about this. If there's something that probably will be taken over by AI, by the way, it's going to be Eurogamer. Just to let you guys know, just to toss that one out there. But anyways, so what Embark actually uses their AI process for is they hire voice actors, which they did, and they stated that this is what it's going to be used for. Everything is on the table, and the actual voice actors, they're okay with feeding their lines and you know, their voices to a language learning model that can then be used to create these voice phrases on the fly. So that's for the pings. First of all, I actually think that Arc Raiders should not use just AI for those pings. You could absolutely hire voice actors for that. And you know, just have the voice acted lines. Now, what they want to do and what they're trying to do, and what Arc Raiders and Embark Studios has said multiple times, is the reason that they're doing this at all for the pings, because there's 2 forms of this, is that they really want people to be able to communicate effectively with all kinds of various pings and emotes and this and that, on the fly, and they want to be able to create those emotes and everything extremely easily. So that's one thing. The other reason is that they keep adding more new maps, more new areas, more this, more that, and you know, just to, like, I guess, simplify the workflow of it, they just have like a vault of information that they can pull from and create these new commands and emotes and you know, directions and this, that, whatever for the NPC voices. That's it. That is it for the pings. And they've hired these voice actors. The voice actors know what they're getting into. They're getting fully paid. They're getting fully credited. And this is a completely different situation than, you know, like an EA or Ubisoft or any of these other companies that Eurogamer sucks the dick of. So the fact that they're, you know, bending over backwards to try to bash a very small company in Embark Studios over this is actually kind of completely fucking hypocritical. Now, here is the other major section, the only other section that Embark Studios uses AI. Text-to-speech. So when you have a voice filter, let me see if I can find a video of this. I think Myth did it for sure. Myth voice filter. What is this called? Arc Raiders. So this is him transforming his voice in Arc Raiders to a lady's, I think the lady's voice, and everyone's cracking up. It's kind of crazy that you can do this. And that was it. So let's demonstrate
your voice
first.
Sound like your Raider.
Really?
Wait,
Yes.
we gotta try that.
Let me pause it. So I can pause the music. There it is. Sorry.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Voice review, what do I sound like?
What the f?
This.
What do I do? Hello, Raiders. Hello, Raiders.
So they're talking, and they're able to, you know, essentially pass their voice through a filter, and that filter makes a robotic-y version of a voice, one that sounds vaguely female, and one that sounds vaguely male.
I'm just a girl gamer looking to make my way in topside. You guys mind helping me?
You can even add a little bit of an accent, a little bit of a twang, and then it created this silly situation, right? And you can easily Google Myth voice changer. It's a very famous clip for Arc Raiders that has been in the lexicon for the past while. And but the problem is that this way of creating you know, a voice filter is impossible to do without AI. You either have this voice filter and you have to use AI, or you don't. You don't have the voice filter at all. And everyone who has ever played Valorant or CS or any other game with VoIP, Escape from Tarkov, DayZ, so on and so forth, all of these games with VoIP, if you're a girl, for example, or if you sound vaguely foreign or something like that, you are going to get people on the other side that are toxic and be like, oh my god, another e-girl. Oh my god, he's fucking Indian. Let's make fun of him. And you're going to get a whole bunch of hate and racist comments and everything like that. If you're a Valorant player, you know a Valorant player, tell me I'm fucking wrong. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. I know I'm right. I've played Valorant. I know exactly how these people act. The same thing with Battlefield, same thing with COD. You see this shit all the time with any game with VoIP. So, what has that created? That has created a situation where a lot of people get very shy about their voice. A lot of people don't want to use VoIP. And Embark Studios knows that their bread and butter, the entire point of Arc Raiders, is the emergent gameplay of actual humans interacting with actual humans. It's not us just versus the Arc. There's a reason this game is PvPvE. It's because you want to be able to talk to other people. This is why the game has become so successful. When you play with solos, you're running around with your Stitcher over here. Sorry, this is a Pharaoh. You're running around with your Pharaoh, and you're like, oh man, and this is a guy over here. Just pretend this is a guy. And like, oh shoot, is he gonna shoot me? Are we gonna work together? I just want to do a quest. So you turn on your VoIP and you're like, hey buddy, don't shoot. It's me. I'm just doing a quest. Let's just be friends, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes they'll shoot you, sometimes they'll be friends with you. More often than not, in solos, they'll actually be friends with you. And interestingly enough, this emergent gameplay has become one of the very, very important loops and one of the big draws of Arc Raiders. This is by design, by the way. This is something that Embark Studios wanted from the very, very beginning. That is why they have multiple ways for you as the player to interact with other players. You have VoIP. That is the most direct way to be able to say, hey, yo, you know, just normal talking. You have your emote wheel. You hold G and you can, like, you know, do all kinds of little emotes saying, don't shoot, dance, work together, you know, very simple phrases like that. And, you know, I've been able to do that because I've been taking care of my dad when Arc Raiders first came out for about a week. And all I could, because, you know, he needed to sleep, he needs to sleep and everything like that, I couldn't really talk. I couldn't use VoIP at all. So I actually became very proficient with just using the emote wheel and communicating with players extremely effectively, at least with the emote wheel. And then they went a step further. What if you want to use VoIP, but you're sick and tired of being dragged for your voice, or you're shy, or you just don't want to be able to, reveal what you sound like because it's a privacy issue? They actually gave a shit about that situation. Something that, frankly, almost no other game has actually cared about. Period. Full stop. Whatsoever. And they decided to have a filter for anyone in that situation that, for whatever reason, does not want to reveal their actual voice. This is an accessibility feature. If you don't want to reveal your voice for whatever reason, you're shy, you're private, you don't want, to be called an e-girl or some bullshit like that, this is just an easy way to do it. It modulates player voices, making the game more accessible and inclusive to those who don't feel comfortable using their real voices, but still being able to communicate effectively, become friends with other players, and so on and so forth. So, are you against inclusivity, or are you just completely against AI in all its forms, no matter what, with no possible nuance in between? And that is the real crux of the matter. And instead of dealing with this entire discussion with an inkling of fucking honesty that one would expect from a games journalist website, Eurogamer decided to do the exact opposite. Be the absolute most fucking biased people possible, with an axe to grind, with no real information whatsoever, no real nuance, no actual discussion about any of the facts that I've just given to you on a silver platter, my friends. They decided to do a hack job against them. They decided to make a stand, a political stand like they always do, instead of actually talking about the merits and the detractions of a game, what makes it good, what makes it bad, what makes it accessible, what makes it not, so on and so forth. They don't even give a fuck about that. They gave it a 2 out of 5, a failing score, and brought down the Metacritic score from 94% to 88%. That doesn't sound like much, but that 90% demarcation is the difference between like an overwhelmingly positive score on Steam, for example, and then compared to a mostly positive, or a mostly positive score. And that would be like how Steam does it. Metacritic has its own different forms, but it's still a major difference. And this makes a difference when it comes to things like, games awards at the end of the year, of which I don't think Arc Raiders was really voted for, included to be in almost any of them. Though, to be fair, the actual Game Awards, I'm talking about the Grammys and stuff, the Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley, has not been revealed yet. So we'll talk about that whenever that's revealed. Hopefully Arc Raiders will be put in there because it deserves some nominations for certain things. Best multiplayer, for sure. Easily the best multiplayer of the year, especially compared to, Battlefield 6, which was fun, but, this is just, frankly, a better game. And countless other games. Black Ops 7 is going to be yapped about like always, even though that's probably going to be, more shaky than pretty much any other Black Ops release in modern day, I guess, just straight up modern day history. I think this one is the most shaky release. Anyways, the real problem is that this does have a real effect. It has a real effect on people's psyches. It has a real effect on, awards. It has a real effect on how the game is viewed. And this is something that it runs completely contrary to gamers' actual thoughts and feelings. Sorry, I have something in my eye, so I'm going to be rubbing my eye while I yap to you guys. Here is the problem. Eurogamer knew what they were doing. They did this on purpose. They didn't talk about the facts of the game, and they didn't bother researching it and talking about the nuances and the differences between this and, Microsoft deleting entire game studios. Amazon is the most recent one. Amazon deleted its entire game studio to basically, you know, they shelved New World completely. No new updates. That game is going to be shuttered in months. They absolutely destroyed the Lord of the Rings MMO, so on and so forth. Completely fired everyone, almost. And instead funneled all of that saved money into AI. That is an actual travesty. Did Eurogamer talk about that in great detail? No, they made some random hash article with very little information talking about the, you know, the death of New World, but not really any of the other issues. And why is that? It's because they can't bother to be talk about any issues with any real fucking brain power. This is why no one trusts games journalists these days. This is why if you talk to an actual gamer, owns a PS5, plays whatever game, if you ask them, hey, how'd you hear about this game? Chances are much higher that they'll say, oh, I saw Shroud playing it. Oh, I saw Asmongold playing it. Oh, I saw Cap Corgi playing it and talking about it. Not me. I mean, you know, generally I'm much smaller than anyone else, but at least I'm honest. And instead of, I saw it on Eurogamer, I saw it on IGN, I saw it on, you know, whatever. There's very few game journalist websites that people trust anymore. And it's because these games journalist websites, in this case Eurogamer, Kotaku is a great example of this, they care far more about sending a message than they do about talking about actual things that gamers truly care about. Games that run contrary to gamers' interests. When was the last time you saw an article about gacha games? When was the last time you saw an article about gambling in games, gambling taking over? When was the last time you saw an article that, you know, actually pushed back against the censorship of itch and Steam for being caused by private equity, being caused by Visa, MasterCard, and so on and so forth? You haven't seen jack shit from them, and there's a reason for that. They're bought and paid for. They're biased. You can't trust them. And that is why they're going to die as websites. They already have. And, you know, any website like Eurogamer, IGN, whatever, they're on life support. And there's multiple sources for this, but we can just Google it easily and see it really fast. Games journalist. Fired. Just see if we can find general numbers. Yeah, here we go. 22 days ago, more than 1,200 games journalists have left the media in the last 2 years. And this is why. No one fucking trusts you, stupid ass, biased pieces of shit. And no one should. So few of you are trustworthy that you're all losing your fucking jobs. And with hack job articles like this Eurogamer one, and this is not the first time they've tried to do this to Arc Raiders, by the way. But if you want to hear about that, let me know that in the comments below. I'll cover that as well. It's from a few months ago, but I'll definitely cover it if you guys want to hear. But yeah, the reason is that these articles are why. It's not for gamers' interests. It is only for sending and pushing your own narratives, your own messages, your own little inner club. Only the games that you deem worthy are the ones that get awards. Only the games that you deem worthy are the ones that you cover in a positive light, like Dragon Age the Veilguard, one of the worst fucking games of the past 3 years. It was, I think, came out, like 16 months ago or something? But whenever exactly it came out, immaterial. It absolute fucking dog shit game. I played it. I hated it. Fucking dog shit writing. Absolutely, dog shit mechanics. One of the worst games for its cost, for the price point, for what you expected from a company as storied and amazing as BioWare used to be. The fact that what we got in Dragon Age the Veilguard, what we got, was inherently completely disappointing. And Eurogamer gave it a 5 out of 5. If that doesn't prove that you can't trust these pieces of shit, I don't know what else can. And just like that, you cannot trust them here. Like I said, here are the facts. This is the great debate, and if you don't like the fact that Embark Studios used AI at all, I get it. But at least at least. And I've had this discussion with my community, because a lot of my community is like, you know, very much 100% AI, zero nuance, zero discussion whatsoever. If it's AI, it's bad. But remember, every streamer that uses a text-to-speech streaming tool, whether it's for donations or whatever, that is generative AI. Every single person that uses a voice filter of any kind is in some way using AI. There is nuance to this conversation. There's not a lot, but you have to call it the nuance. Because if you don't, and you try to consider what Embark Studios is doing is the same as Amazon, in terms of, you know, deleting gamer jobs and so on and so forth, and entire studios and stuff. If you consider these two the same thing, you're going to get companies that don't even care about trying anymore. They're not even going to care about listening to gamers' voices at all. And all you're going to do is get a swath of destruction in the games community. And all AAA games will end up becoming exactly like Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and many, many others, where it's just like husks filled with a couple of managers at the top, some, you know, game directors here and there, and nothing but fucking AI generated dog shit the rest of the time. And all we're going to get is AAA slop for the next 10 years. If you do push back, you talk about what we as a games community can allow, what we can, you know, understand. And in terms of technological limitations, it just makes sense that a voice filter is AI. It just makes sense. If you can't say that, then you're not looking at the situation with your eyes open. And if you cannot take this discussion seriously, how the fuck do you expect million-dollar companies to take you seriously? They won't. That's my discussion. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys understood what I was trying to say. I think that, you know, for example, like I said, the pings, I think that Embark Studios should have just hired, you know, actual voice actors for all the pings. All the pings. It's not that expensive to do that. I think that, you know, with their success, they could absolutely be pushed to that. And if you go to Embark Studios and you leave comments like that saying, hey, I understand the text-to-speech. I get it. Every AI is like that. You have to use AI for that. But if you could, you know, hire just voice actors for the pings and so on and so forth, you put a lot of pressure on them. You're like, hey, you guys made millions and millions of dollars in the game. This is one issue I have. Fix the issue, and, you know, I'll recommend the game to more people. If enough people say that, which is a pretty even-handed comment, I think you would see a lot more, an absolute fuck ton more real discussion and real cooperation from, in this case, Embark Studios or other game companies that do this kind of thing, of which there are many, compared to what, you know, Eurogamer did with their absolute fucking hack job. 2 out of 5. One of the worst reviews I've ever read in my life. Absolute fucking travesty. And something that harms all of us gamers. I hate these fucking liars, man. I hate these fucking liars. And I cannot wait to see Eurogamer get their fucking ass handed to them. $19.99? I don't think they're going to last much longer. I don't think they're going to last until 2029. And I'm going to make sure of it. Every time Eurogamer releases some dog shit article that lies just like they did here, I will try my best to cover it on this channel. And I hope you guys do enjoy it. I hope you guys do listen. When they cover good things, I'll cover good things as well. You know, when they say something right, I will absolutely, you know, state without unequivocal, like, you know what, you did good here, kind of thing. But when they do something wrong, of which they usually do something wrong, I'm going to be sure to do my best to call it out. Because this type of hack job is something, like I said, that harms you, harms me, harms every gamer around the world. You either deal with this situation of AI, of all kinds of games, reviews, and so on and so forth, either properly, or you get the fuck out of my business. That's it. That's how I feel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion, and I really do appreciate your input. Do let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that I'm on the mark? What do you guys think about what I thought about the AI? Do you guys at least like the information that I gave far more cogently and far more completely than Eurogamer, or pretty much almost anyone else? Even on YouTube and stuff. Even the people that I agree with on this subject I don't know if they've been able to give this much detail on what Embark Studios used AI for and why, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of people that came into my games when I was playing Arc Raiders being like, oh, I don't want to watch Arc Raiders because it has AI in it. And I've had to say, but wait, do you know where they used AI? And I had this discussion with them. They're like, wow, Cap, thank you. I didn't actually know that it was used in only these two things and why. This makes far more sense to me now. I'm okay with watching it. I'm not super happy about it, but I understand far more now. That discussion is something that changes minds. I've already changed people's minds. And it's because this is a discussion worth having. But it's one that's worth having with facts, with nuance, with a real understanding of all the issues surrounding it, and not a hack job like Eurogamer. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to give this video a like, a sub, share it with your friends, and be sure to raise up the voices of good content like this, because if you don't, we'll have more fuckers like Eurogamer and less fuckers like me. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for your time.